All right, we got another correction officer video for my corrections family. I just got home from work in the gym. Y'all know how I do. Night shift hustler. Get off of work, 8 into the gate, get relieved, turn up in the work parking lot, go straight to that gym, get my workout in, baby. Here we are. But we're going to talk about the academy and what to expect at the training academy. I get a lot of emails, a lot of DMs from people that's going through the hiring process wanting to know what they can expect going to the training academy. So I've been to 2 different academies. I've been to one for the county jail when I worked in West Virginia, and I went to the academy for the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons. I went to that one down in Georgia. So what can you expect? The first day usually is like a travel day. You know, you will spend, depending on where your facility is, you may travel down on Sunday or Monday, something like that. If you far away from wherever the training academy is, your institution is far away from that, you may have to fly in. So what the BOP, you know, there was people from the West Coast, East Coast, way up top on the North Coast, and they flew in. Me, I was in West Virginia at the federal prison that I worked at last. So we just drove down, everybody that was in my class. When I worked at the county jail, they would give us a van, and everybody in my class, we would all get in the van and we would drive to the training academy. It was like an hour and a half from the facility we worked at. So once you get there, you know, you would check in. You'll probably get issued a room assignment. They'll tell you where you're staying at. They'll give you a layout probably of the campus where everything is. You know, it's kind of like a chill day. Then the next day probably will be the first official day, but you probably won't do anything major. You probably will go in there, fill out paperwork and forms that you need to fill out. It'll be like a meet and greet. You'll meet like all of your instructors that are going to be teaching you for the entire duration of your academy. The whole class will probably be in there, and everybody will introduce themselves and tell the rest of the class what facility they came from. Then you may get issued your uniforms. You know, they usually, when I went to both academies, they issued us PT uniform. You got to wear like some shorts and a t-shirt that they give you for the PT every day. The BOP, they issued us the PT gear and like our official our Class A uniforms. You know, when I worked at the county jail, we just had to bring our work uniforms with us, you know. So what can you expect once you get into the actual academy? You know, you expect to have daily PT or some type of certain physical test that you have to successfully pass every week. So when I went through the county jail academy, we had to get up every morning around, we had to be in formation by 6 a.m. Everybody would be in their PT gear. We lined up in formation, like straight, you know, one person to the back. The instructor would be out there. I think the person in front would carry the flag, and we had to march. Then we would do some jogging. We do some other stuff too. The BOP, we didn't have to do daily PT. We would just wake up about 7 o'clock because you had to be in class by 8. You go down to the chow hall, eat, then you go in class, and then you start the class work for the day. The county jail, like I said, we wake up 6 a.m., do the PT, then we had to go back to the dorms, get dressed, put our uniform on, go eat breakfast. Then we would have to report somewhere, line up in formation, and the instructors would come in and check our uniform, make sure, you know, everything's pressed, make sure your boots are shined. We had to be clean shaven when I worked at the county jail, so they made sure your all you could have was a mustache, so you had to make sure you were shaved, clean appearance, stuff like that. It was kind of like night and day as far as like the PT, the uniform inspection, because they didn't do none of that when I went to the BOP Academy down in Glencoe, Georgia, you know. So like I said, you can expect PT, depending on your agency. The BOP, you have to do stuff like, you might have to, I can't remember how long the distance was, but I remember one obstacle we had to do. We had to run, I think, a lap or 2 around the track, and we had to handcuff somebody. We had to do dummy drags. We'd be in the gymnasium. They would have like dummies on the ground that simulated like a human being that passed out, and you had to pull them out of like a burning building. We had to run up some steps one way, cross over and run back down in a certain amount of time. Then I think another one we had to do was hop over a desk and then go under the desk as fast as you can and run back. It's been a while for me since I went to the academy for the BOP. I went to the academy back in 2014. So you got to bear with me as far as actually remember the specific stuff that we did. But I remember us definitely doing stuff like that. Depending on your agency, you may have to do a certain amount of push-ups, sit-ups in a minute. You may have to jog maybe a mile, mile and a half in a certain amount of time. So if you go into the hiring process and you go to the interview, one of the questions you should be asking, what's the academy like? What test do I have to do as far as the physical aspect? And if they tell you, that's good, because that gives you time to prepare yourself. You can start training for it, preparing for it today. You can go to the track, start timing yourself, see what your time is. You could bust out, see how many push-ups you could do. If you got to do a certain amount of push-ups, time yourself. All of that type of stuff. It never hurts to be, too much prepared once you go in to this type of ordeal. So you go into a recruiting event, the recruiters are there, ask them. These are the type of questions you need to be asking. What's some other stuff to expect, man? Depending on your agency, you may have to get OC sprayed. And if y'all carry tasers, you may have to get tasered. So when I went through for the county jail, we had to get OC sprayed. And basically what happened was on the day of it, you in your PT gear, I'm standing right here. I had to put one hand over my eye, right? The instructor would be standing maybe like 6 feet away. And he would ask, was I ready? You say, yeah. So boom, you got one hand over your eye. You leave the other one open. He'll hold the canister of OC spray at you. He'll say, spray, spray, spray. Spray, you hit you in the eye, boom. And then you had to do an obstacle course. So you had to run, let's say, I think 10, 15 yards. And there'd be somebody that was in like protective gear. And they had like one of those sticks that you hit people with. I can't remember the name of it. And you had to fight them off for like 20, 30 seconds. You got to do all this. Remember, you just got sprayed in the eye. So your eye, you dealing with the effects of OC spray. You took a direct hit. Boom, you got to fight him off. Then you had to sprint to another station and you had to do, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's something similar to fighting somebody else off. Then after you got done with that, you had to sprint another 20, 30 yards and you had to handcuff somebody that was on the ground, one of your classmates, boom. And that's the end of it, man. The BOP, they don't spray you. So that was one thing, when I went down to the academy for that, I was like, damn, they don't spray you down here? Cool. I'm glad, because I didn't want to have to go through that again, There was an optional too, if you wanted to get on a bus and the instructor would throw in a grenade, an OC grenade on the bus. People were, they were given the option to do that if they wanted to do that when I went through the county jail academy. I chose not to do that. Me personally, I'm in the business of pleasure, not pain. So I'm not going to voluntarily subject myself through more pain, So I just stood by while some of my other classmates got on the bus. The instructor took the grenade, the pin out, threw it on the bus. That damn bus smoked up. People started running out. I said, yep, that's why I didn't do it right there, man. So, yeah, you can expect to get OC sprayed. Like I said, it all depends on your agency. Every agency is different. Some agencies may carry tasers, so you may have to get tasered too. I've seen videos of people that worked at other agencies. Like one of my homegirls, she worked at a county jail, and she showed me the video of her getting tasered. It's basically somebody's holding you, the instructor's standing maybe, 5, 10 feet behind you, and they'll point the taser at you, bow, hit you with the taser, and you fall forward, of course, and your classmates or whoever is there, the instructors, they catch you and put you on the ground. So like I said, I've never had to get tasered. We don't carry tasers at the county jail I worked at, and the BOP, they don't carry tasers. That may change in the future. I'm not sure. What's some other stuff you can expect at the academy? Kind of expect it, to be like boot camp. Like I said, depending on your agency, it could be night and day. To me, the county jail academy was like night and day from the BOP academy. When I was at the county jail, I thought it was like being in football camp or something. You got curfew. We couldn't really leave the premises. You had to do uniform inspections every day. You had to be up at 6 a.m. every day to do PT. The BOP, when I went down to Glencoe, Georgia, Flexi, you Monday through Friday, class was from like 8 to like 4. And after class, you were free to do whatever you wanted. You just had to show up the next day for the next day of class. But when I went to the county jail, like you couldn't be out of your room after 10 p.m. We had like a curfew. All the girls were down on this end of the dorms. All the boys are on this end. They had like a, instructor that would sit out there, and they were watching to make sure we didn't, leave our rooms or be trying to sneak out The BOP shoe, man, you, like I said, you could do whatever you want. We going out to eat every night. You know, it wasn't like no, like the girls down here. I had the room next to me, the dorms that I stayed in at Glencoe, they were right next to what's called the G Bar. It's like an on-campus bar. You know, that's where we had our class party at. They served drinks, food in there. And I stayed in these hotels. It was almost like a hotel layout, the dorms I stayed in when I was at the BOP Academy. It was a chick right next door to me. It was another chick like 2 doors down. I see them every day. I talk to them, chop it up with them a little bit. So, you know, you, like I said, depending on what agency you go through, it kind of expected to be like if you were ever served in the Army or you ever played football, college football, high school, you go through camp. You know, when I played college football, it was kind of similar to that. You know, we got football practice every day, sometimes twice a day. You got curfew. You got to be back in your room. You got to be up every day, damn near 6 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning. So, you know, it was real strict. You know, it all depends on what facility, what agency you go through. What else can you expect, man? Expect the instructors to lead the classroom when you do the classwork, right? So you'll be in the classroom setting and they'll be going over stuff like the history of corrections, policy, procedure, things that you need to know, things that are going to make you successful as a correction officer. And you can expect to have weekly tests. So whatever they went over for that week, let's say they started on Monday, Friday, you probably will have a test. That's how it was when I went through both academies. You know, the instructors too, they were pretty good about saying, if you needed to really know something, they'd be like, you might want to remember this for the test, or you might want to highlight that. So they would give you good cues. That's something that's something that you need to know for the test. So you would highlight it, you know, and the day of the test, the day before, I would usually just study all evening. You know, the tests weren't too bad, man, for both academies. Most of it was multiple choice. You may have had a few short answer questions you had to answer, maybe a couple extended responses, but a lot of it was like, if you study, you know, high school, college, once you study for a test, it was like that. It wasn't that bad, man. You know, you just got to remember the policy, procedure, whatever they said, went over that week. You know, they'll give you a book or something that they're going from. And it's just like classwork. And take the test the next day and you good. You know, take it serious though. Don't just think you just know everything and you just gonna go in there and automatically ace it. Nah, I studied every night before every test and I passed successfully both academies. But like I said, it wasn't nothing too hard though. Let me see, what's the next thing? These are some tips right here that help you pass the academy. First thing, take it serious. It's not girls gone wild. This ain't spring break. Nothing like that, man. You know, when I went to Glencoe, you got people from all over the country. You know, we got 2 federal prisons too, one in Hawaii and one in Puerto Rico. So we have people from those facilities, we all congregating right there at Glencoe, Georgia. Some people, they didn't take it serious. They thought it was like we on spring break. They away from their family. You got people that may have been in a faithful, committed marriage, family, wife, husband, and kids. They get down there, they away from their family. It's like they lost their mind. They drinking every night. They get into a lover's quarrel. Man, I've seen people get sent home for doing dumb stuff, drinking too much, and they decide to make a unwise decision. Man, one dude, he had his door open on the campus, right? And he got so drunk, he was like he was just in his underwear with his door wide open, running around the camp. They sent his ass home. He ended up losing his job. I seen another situation where there was a lover's quarrel. I think it was 2 dudes and a girl, and the 2 dudes got into a fight over the girl. All 3 of them got sent home, lost their job. That's why I say, take it serious. This is not the time to play. This is like you still on the clock. You still working. You are expected to pass every part of the academy. It's a pass or fail thing. If you get sent back for failing something because you didn't take it serious, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be out of luck. You're going to lose your job. This is some other stuff. Ask questions. No question is a dumb question. If you don't understand something, if you don't understand what the instructor is telling you to do, ask them. You feel that's what they're there for. If you don't understand something they're going over in the classroom, raise your hand and ask them. Just like in high school, middle school, college, ask questions, man. You feel me? That way you would know what's expected of you. This is some other things that'll help. Stick together with your classmates. See, when you go down there, you're going to be divided up and you're going to be in a certain class. So you might be like the 103rd class of, I don't know, the North Carolina Department of Corrections. Let's just use the state that I'm living in right now. So you have classmates, right? Y'all got to stick together. Y'all got to push each other, man. Some people may fall behind a little bit on the PT. Somebody might bomb the first test. Y'all got to rally together. Y'all got to hold each other up so y'all can help each and every one of y'all successfully pass the academy. I remember that both academies, man, you know, we kind of banded together and we pushed and we helped each other. We would, you know, if somebody was struggling or something, you know, we would try to cheer them on, root them on so they could pass. You know, like I'm saying, these are the people, some of them you may never see again, but some of them may be working at your same facility. You want them to come on, right? You want them to get hired and successfully pass so they could be working alongside you. You feel me? So like I said, stick together with your classmates, man. Y'all going to be together a few weeks, maybe a month, 2, 3 months together. Y'all gonna be seeing each other every day, man. So you may meet some friends that you keep for life. You know, I got some people I still keep in touch with that I went to the academy with. You know, I went to the BOP Academy back in 2014. You know, a lot of them people I went through that I got cool with, they still work for the BOP. You know, some of them have promoted up. My one homie, I think he's like a unit manager now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's an AW or a warden some point in the near future, you know. So like I said, stick together. This is the next thing, man. Don't forget, it's a pass-fail basis on everything that you do. So the physical part, the PT, the test, all of that usually is a pass or fail basis. You got to take it serious. You can't go down there joking. If you know you're not in shape like you need to be right now and you know what you need to do, you need to start today. You know you got a few months before you go to the academy. Start now. Start today. Don't wait until a week or two before and think you're going to be in enough shape to go down there and successfully pass. I've seen people get sent home because they couldn't pass the physical agility part. You know, I've seen people, they tried to do the lap. They just couldn't do it in the amount of time. They got sent home, and that was a condition of keeping their job. They ended up losing their job, you know. So all in all, though, man, both academies, man, I got some great training, met some great people, had a great experience, learned a lot about myself, and I feel like they do good as far as introducing you to corrections and giving you a brief history of correction, going in depth on things that will help you to be successful in your new career. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got the merchandise for sale. It's one of my shirts, right? I got a lot of gym merchandise. I'm big into fitness if y'all have been following me for a while. Jesus lifted weights. But I got all kind of hoodies, t-shirts on my website. Check out my website, man. But yeah, man, if you about to go to the academy, you in the academy right now, I hope that you're doing good. I hope you staying focused. I hope you hitting all your marks, passing, man. Sometimes too, in the academy, they have what's called like, I can't remember the name of it, but like if you get like top scores in your class, you may get a reward for that once you get back to the facility. You know, the BOP, a lot of institutions do that. If you was like the best shooter in your class, you had to do some shooting too. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Let's mention that real quick. Depending on your agency, when I went to the county jail, we didn't have to do any shooting. You got to do that separately if you want to transport the inmates, you know, take out trips, take them to court, stuff like that. The BOP, you do all your shooting down there. You shoot the rifle, you shoot the shotgun, and you shoot the pistol. You got to pass that as well. If you shoot excellent or you get like a superb number on the physical agility test, I've seen instances where people, they came back and the warden gave them like a cash award. He may have gave them like $500 or $1,000 for being the top in their class when they graduated. So that's something to keep in mind too. If y'all have any input, thoughts, comments on this video, all my veteran officers out there or retired officers out there, drop some input, help these people out that's getting ready to go to the academy, man. Let's keep sharing and let's keep providing this wealth to people that's coming into corrections. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated. Boom.